Last time we talked about identifying core feelings and the first level emotions that go along with them. Today I'd like to go further into another aspect of awareness, which is being caught in a dualistic loop of attachment aversion, or what could just be called the attachment aversion syndrome. These attachment aversion syndromes are usually unconscious, and bringing conscious awareness to them is an important part of the enlightenment process that will allow you to break free of them. Attachment aversion occurs when we become fixated on obtaining or keeping the positive side of any dualistic experience and avoiding the negative side. The negative side will correspond to the core feelings that we've been discussing. Since positive and negative must always balance each other according to the principle of duality, which we can go into in more detail at some other time, I hope you can see that when you fall into the attachment aversion trap, you're setting yourself up for continual frustration and pain. We become attached to people who fill a certain need, to material objects such as a house or a car, or to non-material things such as recognition, power, status, success, however we may define those terms. Attachment to material objects is considered to be a lower, less enlightened form of the syndrome. Attachment to other people is often thought of as love, but in reality is a type of dependency that must be overcome before we can make significant progress on the spiritual path. Pain occurs when the mind becomes attached. The first kind of pain we feel with attachment is fear. Attachment itself immediately generates fear of losing the object of attachment, whether a person, possession, or condition. The fear builds over time, usually getting suppressed into the subconscious until eventually it surfaces in the form of some kind of crisis, often involving resentment of the attached object, since we unconsciously assume it's the reason for our fear. The second kind of pain we experience with attachment is the negative pole of the dualistic experience. We become attached because we feel incomplete, weak, or just unhappy. The object to which we attach ourselves seems to fill our need, at least for the moment. But soon, the negative pole makes itself felt. It's the opposite of the reason we are attracted to the person or possession. We resent the intrusion of the negative. We rebel against it. But the more we push it away, the more it makes itself known. The negative pole is tied to an accumulation of suppressed core feeling negativity in the subconscious. For example, you feel secure and warm when you're with a loved one, but then it seems as if there are too many times when they aren't there for you when you need them. You experience these times as being unbearably lonely and painful, and they seem to roughly balance out the beautiful times. This is the suppressed subconscious making itself known. You are attached to your partner, expecting them to compensate for the inner pain. This is not love, but a dependency that interferes with love. The harsh truth is that most of our intimate relationships are based on mutual dependencies, which of course generate the intense, ambivalent attachment aversion experience. This is true of any intense relationship, including parent-child and business or work relations. What is the way out? It would be wonderful if you could simply see a dependent attachment for what it is, and then as a result of this insight, just drop it. However, very few of us have the capacity to manage our emotional selves to the extent that we can do away with dependent attachments through an act of will. A more practical strategy is to process the experience. First, bring awareness to the syndrome because it's probably been unconscious. Then apply acceptance to the negative feelings that are coming up, dropping blame, taking responsibility for the pain, then choicelessly being present with the pain, witnessing it, feeling it as an energy in your body. Processing the pain of attachment takes you out of the attachment. This is really the only way to break attachments. To continue our example, when your partner is absent or appears to have abandoned you, that's when the negative side of your attachment aversion syndrome is coming up. Loneliness, abandonment, heartbreak. You make the most of the experience by taking it through the process. You free yourself from accumulated, suppressed negativity. This is one of the key ways to use pain for your benefit. Break the attachment by processing the pain that occurs when you are denied the object of your attachment. On a higher level, the purpose of any dependent attachment is to reveal and release the pain that accompanies it, which has been accumulating in the subconscious. If you understand this, you will approach relationships and possessions with an entirely new, enlightened frame of mind. You allow yourself to enjoy relationships and possessions as much as possible. And when the inevitable, painful, negative side surfaces, you view it as the opportunity to do significant work on yourself, releasing those core negative feelings through the process you're learning here. Addiction is an advanced form of attachment. Addiction and attachment are rampant in the world. They result in what we think are our needs. However, as we start to get clear, it becomes obvious that most of our needs are neurotic dependencies. They may be appropriate to our current level of consciousness, but if we are to move forward with our personal and collective evolution, these dependencies must eventually be outgrown.